everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm RevPGs and today we're going to be reviewing honkaistarrail version 2.6. We've of course already reviewed the previous version of HSR, so we're not going to be speaking about the things we've already spoken about in previous videos. We're only going to be focusing on the aspects of this version, and yeah, let's get into it.
Such a brilliant film. It would be a shame for it to end now.
The story in version 2.6 is absolutely bizarre. Honestly, I had no idea what was going on half the time. It was really weird with the whole monkey thing, the monkey invasion, infecting people's minds and making them speak banal gibberish. Yes, that is like a core plot point. This is a filler patch, so it's not too serious. Of course, this isn't going to reflect my thoughts overall on the game, because it was a fun quest, you know. They did use like the humorous sides, the quirky side of this story patch to, you know, disguise elements of other things happening in the game. They gave us little lore crumbs for Rapper's backstory, they gave us crumbs for Boot Hill's backstory, and a few other things like Dr. Primitive. And I'm really excited for when these filler patches end and we get into our next big arc, we go into our next big planet. And honestly, I did enjoy the story, but 6 hours is a bit too long, I'd say, for a filler patch. 6 hours of constant talking can get a bit annoying, but I think the overall payoff in this quest was quite good. It was funny in places, and it did keep me engaged for most of it. The only parts I wasn't engaged was when I was, I was scrolling on my phone because I couldn't stand listening to all the annoying NPCs, which I'll play a little clip now.
The Slumber Nana Association? Are you planning on becoming a member? I must be dreaming! Two of my favorite things together! I must be the luckiest fan alive!
Shut the fuck up!
So yeah, it was quite annoying to hear these NPCs constantly talking with this really over-pitched, annoying tone. Other than that, I really enjoyed the interactions between other playable characters and, core characters. Mr. Rekka, who's the professor in this arc, I really enjoyed him as a character, and I hope he becomes playable in the future because his design is honestly brilliant, and I would think that it would sell quite well as a character. He would sell quite well as a character, sorry. Other than that, I really did enjoy the story. There were some elements that could be changed, and the pacing could be a bit better, but overall this is an improvement from the previous update, which was also a filler patch, where nothing really amounted to anything, and they were trying to make it this serious thing, but this whole time it just felt like a clown fest. But this time, they're meant to be silly, but they're disguising these dark elements with sillier moments. So I'm going to be giving the story for honkaistarrail version 2.6 an 8.5 out of 10.
Jitsu secret technique, dazzling obliteration!
So moving on to the next topic, which is the gameplay. We're not going to be talking about any events just yet because there's only one event on right now and it's musical themed, so I'll be talking about it in the music review section for this video. I will say though, the new endgame in this update is brilliant, quite fun. It's pretty much just a damage sponge game mode though, once again. It's nothing too crazy, it's just a bunch of fun, to be honest. I really enjoy the simulated universe. I find it fun clearing everything, getting all the rewards, and then never playing it again. So it's not really endgame, but other than that, I can't really say anything about the gameplay. There's just more Penacony stuff, there's a new area to explore. The new endgame, as I said, is out, and there's nothing really to the game at the minute that's new. Obviously, you've got your new character, Rapper, and you've got your new boss battle at the end of this update. For the story quest, it was honestly the worst boss battle I've ever seen in a gacha game. It was so easy. Literally, the moment you enter the boss, it goes down to like 30% HP. It has 2 phases, but it doesn't really matter because the boss is boring. It hasn't got its own unique boss theme, and honestly it was really disappointing, which is a shame. I think it really did drag things down. So overall I'm going to be giving the gameplay about a 6 out of 10. It's heavily carried by the endgame content, but the events are great so far. But we'll obviously be speaking about that in the music section. By the time this video's up though, there may be other events out in the game, so this rating might not really stand in my final review, but we'll have to see. So how does the music hold up? Well, honestly, if it wasn't for the latest event, where you get to mix your own music up, you get to make your own custom tracks to use in-game, there wouldn't be much to say here, and there wouldn't even be a music section for this update, because I believe there's only like 2 new tracks that have been added this update. But there is this event where you can mix your own music using 3 different instruments. You've got 3 different songs you can create, and you can use them afterward as well in the Astral Express as your background music whilst you're doing whatever in the Express, which is pretty much your hub area. And honestly, the music in this event is quite fun. It's cool, it's interactive. You've got a rhythm game mode as well, which isn't too hard. It isn't really hard whatsoever. You only press a button as the inputs come up on your screen. You only press one single button. It's not multiple buttons at the same time. It's pretty simplistic, but it gets the job done. Obviously there are other events, but these aren't going to be music focused. Other events would include combat events, minigame events for this update, but they're not out there yet, and I don't really think I want to talk about them, mainly because we've already spoken about events in previous videos, and everyone already knows what to expect from those little mini events. This is the main event for this update, which is a music event. So overall, I'm going to be giving the music a 7 out of 10. This is also carried by the event, just like how our previous rating was carried by the endgame. This is carried by the event heavily because it was really fun. You can complete it within a day as well, which is great, a couple of hours. So yeah, I'm giving the music in this update a 7 out of 10. Overall, I can honestly say this update is much better than the previous updates, specifically 2.4 and 2.5. I was excited for 2.5 at first because 2.4 was actually quite good, but in the end there was no payoff in my opinion, and the big plot twist at the end was that Ting Yun was still alive, and you know, they kind of made it seem like this was a big plot twist, but we already knew this months beforehand, and it wasn't exactly a well-kept secret, let's be honest. But in this, they did actually reveal some stuff that we didn't know before, and it wasn't meant to be this completely serious quest. They had serious moments in it, but again, it was, you know, subtly put in there in certain moments, or they wouldn't shadow like the funny moments with the serious moments. What they would do is they would perfectly blend the two so one doesn't, you know, make more of an impression on you. You know, they blend them perfectly. In the previous storyline, I didn't like the way they paced it. I hated the main villain. I thought he was such a fucking boring character, and the payoff in the end was awful. You know, you got this war that went on for hundreds and hundreds of years between the Foxians and whatever the hell those things were called again. See, I can't even remember because I don't care. But it ends, they just kill the guy at the end of it, and that's it, you know. The 100 years of war is just over, I guess, now. But that was just so disappointing to me that the villain amounted to nothing. But now we've kind of got something here where we've got another side villain, I would say, which is Dr. Primitive, and you know, you really find out certain things about experiments going on, some really horrible stuff, to be honest. And that's how you build a good villain. You don't show them at first, you describe and show what they've done, whether it be directly or indirectly. You know, you build up anticipation to see that villain. But in the previous update, you just saw the villain, and he was the most disappointing thing you've ever seen in your life. In his monster form, he was just a wolf, a big, bad wolf. And in his human form, he was just a fucking grumpy old man, which is bloody brilliant, I guess. So yeah, it is an overall improvement, but this update isn't perfect. Let's not forget how long this questline was. 6 hours for a filler arc. An arc that will probably be forgettable in the long term. You know, you'll forget most of it, you will remember the fun parts and the parts about characters' backstory, but overall it's not going to be that memorable. I did enjoy the new gameplay in terms of the end game, but I did feel a surprising lack of exploration in the new area and just no new content overall. You know, the simulated universe is kind of recycled content. It's still fun, don't get me wrong, but it will get, you know, dry, stale, boring in the end if they keep repeating it. It's like every year they release a new FIFA game. If they do this with the simulated universe, every couple of updates they keep adding to it, that's great, yes, but I would like to see some variation instead of just the same sort of game modes within the simulated universe. But you know, there's some cool lore drops in there as well. I did enjoy the event so far. There is more events to come. Of course, that'll be combat events and stuff like that. Honestly, the worst aspect of this update though is the combat, because the final boss was just awful. It was terrible, and I honestly don't know how it went through and just they passed that and they went, oh yeah, that's great, people are gonna love that. Because no, we did not love it. Anyway, this version is getting a 7 out of 10 for me, and I will see you guys in the next video. If I'm stuttering a lot, it's because I'm very tired and I'm recording this at midnight now. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And my next review will be on Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, so if you've heard of that game, or you know, you want to request another review or game for me to play on the channel, just let me know in the comments and I'll check it out. Thank you for watching.